Thank you. This is Jen, my tour manager, everybody. A little round of applause for Jen. I chipped my tooth off. You know, I chipped my tooth off once. Because, like, I think I was in East Lansing having a great show, and boom, chipped my tooth off. Actually, it's like capped. So I keep doing that. So if I lose my tooth tonight, I'll blame it on you. Today's going to be the day. I'm hoping not. So if you guys have any questions, Jen has a mic and she can pass it around.
Highlights. I'm from New Mexico.
Ooh, did you travel in for this?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
No, well, actually, I'm here with my friends. I drove to follow
That's
you here.
amazing, guys. Thank you.
So, out of curiosity, if you could write any character, fictional, whether it's superhero, movie related, TV related, if they gave you the power to control that character, who would it be?
Like an already existing character?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. I want like my immediate reaction to be like, oh, Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman controls me, so I can't write Wonder Woman. I actually would love to write a Pasheen story. And like give Pasheen adventures and stuff. It's really fun. Because I feel like I could take Pasheen on a good journey. Hey, how are you?
A little nervous, but if you could co-write a new comic book with a famous comic book writer, who would it be?
Who would the writer I'd collab with be?
Yeah, and maybe like, what would it be?
Well, it's a fun question because I've never done. I mean, obviously this comic. Who's checked out Skin Knife comic? My first foray into writing, really, and it was pretty interesting. An amazing experience. I kind of developed insomnia writing these characters and becoming the world and going into the world. And I remember writing to Brian K. Vaughan, who I'm a big fan of, and being like, "You all must be crazy," because you have to become like even the evil characters, right? To like think about what they would say and how they react to certain situations. It was really kind of like an interesting time. I don't know how I would react in a collaborative setting, so it's hard to say who I would be good to write with because I would want to say Brian K. Vaughan, but he would just write everything because he's the best writer. So I'd have to pick like a really crappy writer. So I would make myself think. But in all honesty, it would be cool to write with a friend. I think to see what you come up with. You know, even if it was like Bo or somebody to sit down and say what you know, someone maybe who hasn't had as much, you know, hasn't had a ton of experience because I haven't either. See what you could come up with a friend. Like going back to the pity scene, this is a funny story. I wrote that with a friend. We were like drinking vodka and I was going through her notebook. She was really pissed. Her diary. And I was like, let me like write using these lyrics. So it's just like you never know what you can sit down with a friend and achieve, you know.
Oh, awesome. Hello.
Hey.
My name is Ramon and I'm from Mexico.
You're from Mexico? You come up for this too?
You know, I'm from Flagstaff, but like went to
Flagstaff.
school, but I'm from
Hey,
Mexico.
what's up with Flagstaff?
It's
like,
great.
is it a cool place?
You should go there sometime.
Is it cool? Because we have a day off there coming up. And what's good for us to do?
What's it called? The orbit. What's it called?
The vortex?
No, that's in Sedona. I'm talking about where they discovered Pluto. It's like an orbit there, like an observatory, not orbit. Mole observatory. There you go.
Cool.
There's like vegan shop school. I'm vegan, so just, like, that's all I know.
Oh, cool. That's amazing. That's really good.
My question.
Insight for you. Thank you. Do
Yeah,
you know
of
if
course.
there's like, you know, those like cool canyons? Is that like?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Oh, that's the donut?
The
It's called the donut. Interesting.
Mount Eldon. That's a fun mountain.
So that's not your Flagstaff?
Yeah.
It is your Flagstaff?
Yeah, that's a fun hiking place too.
Yay, I'm looking forward to this day off.
Totally. Oh my god.
Cool. Okay. What's your question?
So I like translating your songs to Spanish. And you did Giants in Spanish.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like,
What did you think of the Giants translation in Spanish?
there's a couple. I showed it to my mom, and I'm like, she's trying. And she's like, yeah, but like, I love her to death. So what can I do?
I didn't do the translation, unfortunately, but.
I actually threw a Spanish translation last time we were in September, and that's all like, oh my god. I'm like, I don't have to sell it. I'm like, I don't know. Would you ever collaborate with like other Spanish artists, perhaps, or like other? I know you did some in French and all that kind of stuff, but like maybe Spanish because
absolutely.
you shook the community. It was great.
Yeah, I haven't it's strange. I haven't really met a ton of Spanish artists in my career so far, but I also haven't toured anywhere south of this border. So one of these days I would love to.
You're very wanted in Mexico and Brazil. I promise.
Oh, well, the day will come someday, I'm sure. And yeah, collaboration has to be in the stars somewhere.
So I know like you did like oh sorry, I forgot to introduce myself.
Oh, it's okay.
Hello, no name.
My name's Micah. I live here.
Cool.
I met you last time you were at Z Records.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a sweetheart.
Aw, thanks for coming back.
So, of course. So with this album, you did like a multimedia like experience with comic books. Is there another like media that you want to explore alongside with music, like paralleling each other?
That's such a good idea. I think now is the time to explore multimedia projects because music is such an all-time low in terms of value, and if you can inject as much of an experience into music as you can these days, it's amazing. I think there's just so much music out there that even me as a fan of music, I'm like, I'm only really going to be able to listen to what's on playlist or what singles are there, because like to dive into a whole album is a commitment. So it's really cool to be able to reward people for caring about a whole album with other forms of media. Like the comic, you know, unless you're like really diving into somebody's discography, there'd be no reason to check out Morphine and Magnetic Field, songs that don't have videos. You know what I mean? So it's really cool to do that kind of thing. Comics was my immediate go-to because that was within my field of skills to be able to do, and you know, ultimately, aside from like labor and passion, amount of time that I put into it, it's like it didn't cost me any money to make. It's just vision, right? Whereas you look at other forms of media, like a TV show or even pulling together videos, it's like you need a budget and a team. Whereas with comic, I was like, this is something I can do on my own. So that's obviously the place I started. It was like something that I was able to accomplish on my own. So art forms that are within that are always the easiest to do because I just do them at home or on the bus or on the airplane, and paintings and the Instagram world experience that I put together. I don't know if you guys have checked out at Skin Red World Instagram, but yeah, getting to do all those kind of things are cool. I think it'd be a dream of mine to do like a video game or like an app and stuff. But that's obviously something that needs like, I need like investors and a team. That's not within my. I remember once I got making apps for dummies in a book, and I was just like, I'm a dummy. Like, I have all these dreams, but that's not to say it won't happen. But yeah, someday I would love to reach into those fields.
Thank you so much.
I think we have time for 2 more, so we'll do one over here and one over there. And I'm closer to here, so.
Hey, like.
How are you?
Alex, I'm well. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
So, I tweeted at you about the gem show.
Yeah.
What's your favorite gem?
Oh, good question.
And why didn't I see you there?
I wish I had time in my life to do things. Yeah. Did you go today?
No, I went like last week for a couple days.
Is it here today?
It's in Tucson.
Oh, it's on Tuesday. Oh, that shit's hard.
I know.
That shit is hard.
Right?
I know. Your girl's got shows every
I
day.
know.
I've always wanted to go to a Rock and Gem show. Isn't it? Like, it's on my
I'll
bucket
take
list.
it.
Yeah. I think, what's my favorite gem? You know, I have, there's a few that I get fascinated by. There's a museum in Toronto called, if you guys ever end up in Toronto, called the Royal Ontario Museum, the ROM. And there's a whole gem like section. It's like one of the most amazing things, and I just like get mesmerized by all the rocks that they have there. And the ones I find myself most attracted to, strangely, are the meteorites.
Okay.
It's bizarre, but like they're not pretty. But I'm like, this is like pretty. Yeah, right. It's not bad, right? It's just like a big chunk of metal, but the way that it's been twisted by its journey and changed over the years is just like cool, and knowing that it's been with aliens and stuff. It's kind of rad.
So meteorite, duly noted.
Yeah, I think those are kind of one of my favorites. But in terms of accessibility and the sheer amount that I have in my house is calcite clusters.
Calcite? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I love calcite as well.
Yeah, it's very beautiful and affordable. You just get big ones with like a big piece of kryptonite. You know, it's really flawed, and I love it. Sorry, there you are. Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm good. I had originally a question kind of planned out, but I decided to change it. I just think, I'm sure it's weird for you.
I'm getting Mitsuki vibes from your outfit, by the way. I'm really
Yes. I feel like it's just super weird, at least for you, I'm sure, to have like hundreds of thousands of fans who like know you and have traveled with you this journey, but like you've never met your child.
It's funny, I feel like even now, like being with you guys, or communicating online, or singing during the show, I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength, and that's what's really cool. And I do feel like we all connect over the same things, and that's the beauty of music, is we're all kind of just like a bunch of nerds, and like that aren't really fitting in anywhere, and that's where we all find our place in music. So I think we're all friends anyways, in another world.
Well, so my main question was, I wrote a book, and I know for you, like this was kind of an idea that you had in your head, but you weren't really sure how to start. Like, were there times along the way where you just like, this isn't good, like, Or like, is it gonna be interested in
Yeah,
this? Like, is this what
absolutely.
people want? Like, should we even do it if it's not what people want? Like,
Yeah, that question can be one of the hardest questions for anybody doing something creative. Is this what people will like? You know, and that question will always be there to try to spoil your fun. But I think the best advice, and I've shared this a lot along the way because this helped me big time when I was working on my writing for the comic, especially, was there's no such thing as good writing, just good rewriting. So you can't start out with the perfect idea, right? You have to just start out with an idea, and then you have to work on it, and it'll come in a lot of different forms before it's in its final form. You have to commit to finishing it, or you'll never know how good that idea could have been. So my story at the beginning was very different. The characters all had different names, and the characteristics were even different, and the world building was different, and even the end game was a little bit different. But I stuck with it because I had to keep pushing away the question of, is this something people will like? And I had to know, is this something I will like? And I kept doing it for myself ultimately, and I think if you can make yourself proud at the end of the day, you can make other people proud too. You can't write for other people because that's already been done. You're just gonna write something that's out there. If you wanna write something new, you gotta get your head out of that space. But it is like the enemy of the creator. But yeah, you just keep going, keep working on it because bad writing will eventually turn you into good. Good luck to you.
All right. We're going to move into the meet and greet photo portion. So
There's a really
DCF
sick background. Oh yeah, DCF over here. It's my man. He's playing